Almost 4 o'clock. Um, what time is it? Hi. Hey guys. Hi Wanda and Teresa. Thank you for joining. This is my very first live ever. So I'm not sure I know what I'm doing, but I hope it works. Can you hear me? Teresa, can you hear me? Okay, good. I'm just gonna start at 4, and I'm gonna try to keep it very short and simple because I'm scared. I had a couple of my nieces that were supposed to, but I realized they're not part of this group, so they won't be able to see it. I was gonna do it on my timeline, but since I belong this is for the group only, so I can't really invite them. Oh well. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. I'm gonna start. I would like to thank Cheryl from the bottom of my heart for giving me the opportunity to talk about my book, which is titled On Your Side. It's called Dilemma of In-Home Caregivers. Cheryl is the administrator of our group, so I was, very pleased when she approached me to say, "Hey, come and do a live and talk about your book." Let me talk to you about first thing is speaking on the background, why I decided to write the book, and how I think my book can help you CEOs of this group. So I've been working as a caregiver for a decade. After I graduated from college, I always held weekend jobs where I was a CNA or HHA. So throughout my life, I've always been working as a caregiver. I was a paralegal working in New York for the New York State Attorney General for several years. I always work on the weekend as a caregiver. Every job that I held, even my profession, when I was in California, I work as an assistant dean in Santa Monica College. I still work on the weekend as a caregiver. So I've been doing this line of work for so many years, but I'm new on the management side. So I'm an advocate for the caregivers, really. So I decided to leave my legal career. I was getting tired of the attorneys. I couldn't take the mistreatment anymore. So I decided I went to nursing school and I became a full-time nurse. I'm a licensed practical nurse in pediatrics. So that's what I do now in Florida. I work as a nurse. I enjoy it because as a CNA, as a home health aide, I always worked with the elderly. So when I became a nurse and I'm more like exposed to the kids, so that was very new to me. And it's interesting to see the difference between the older people and the kids. Okay, so when I changed course, I said I'm done with the legal field. I'm gonna go to nursing. So I did that, and now I'm full time to home care. So that's all I do. So this is all about me. My name is Dominic Jones, and my home care agency is called Angel Helpers Homemaker and Companion Service, and we are based in Florida. My office, this is my home office. That's where I will be running my business in the Hernando County in Florida. I'm the business been licensed for over a year now, and I'm still trying to go full time, which is so difficult because I work full time as a nurse. So I'm doing it. So by next year, I pray to God I can just do part time on my business. It's not easy, but it's gonna be done. I'm almost done. I'm every day a little bit at a time. It takes sometimes you get discouraged when you hear people's stories on the group. Oh my God, I got 4 clients today. I got one client. It's like, oh my God. It's like I feel guilty. But at the same time, I know why I'm not where I'm supposed to be in the home care because I was working on this. So I said, okay, I understand why. Anyway, why did I decide to write the book? I decided to write it because I got so tired the way caregivers are being treated. I mean, it's just sometimes they don't even have a voice. I have searched online. The nurses have national organization that represent them, but CNA caregivers they don't have. They're not even unionized. They don't. So as a caregiver, I know exactly what they go through. So from the mistreatment of the patient, mistreatment of the family, and especially mistreatment of the agency. So this is why I said no, somebody got to say something. Caregivers, especially what I focus on the book is mostly people who do living because that's what I did on the weekend. I did living work. So because I would go on a Friday and come back on Monday. So I would live in those people's homes. Sometimes I do 6 months at a time. I did that several times. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. And the agencies sometimes they fail to recognize the kind of problems that those that the caregiver experience, like little petty things. Let me give you an example. One time they sent me on a case. It was in the winter in New Jersey. And they will say, "Oh, Dominique, please help us, please. Please, I know you're not working well, please help us." And then I just pack my stuff. Usually when they call you like that, you just pack your bag, you pack snacks. And most of the time they're supposed to feed you because it varies from state to state. But in New Jersey, if the client doesn't provide you with food, this is for living work, this is for living work. They're supposed to add some sort of additional daily payment, like if like $20 per day or whatever, to your salary. That they're supposed to pay for your food or they'll buy you food. But I didn't know that. I just bought a bunch of snacks and I was like, it was snowing, and after the second day of eating snacks, I said, wait a minute, that lady's not gonna feed me. And then I called the agency and said, oh, you're supposed to bring your food. I said, hello, no one told me. And then it's just like, I was like stuck. So I had to call my husband. And what he did, he ordered groceries for me online and then deliver it for me. That's another thing I'm gonna say to caregivers. When you do living, make sure you know in the area where the restaurants are, where the grocery that can deliver stuff, because you can get stuck. Because if you have a client that said, I'm not gonna share my food with you, so you are in big trouble. So that's what happened to me. And even then, after I was able to get the food, she didn't want to share a refrigerator. She says, I know I'm Jewish. I have kosher food. I don't want you to. I was like, wait a minute, I have perishable here. So I had to call. I said to the agency, you know what? If you're not gonna do something, I'm out. And then they talked to her, and she gave me a little space to put my food. So even today, I'm still in contact with her. We're good friends. She would write me letters. But the beginning was very bumpy because then, to create that bond, it takes weeks and even months. But what I'm trying to say is, so the little things like that, as a home care owner, you have to pay attention. Otherwise, you will lose your caregivers. You will lose your caregivers. They will go. So even like I've seen agencies who will just send you out, they don't even know where the caregiver's going to sleep. They don't even know if there's a bathroom to share. So these are all those little things you need to pay attention to. This is why I said somebody had to have a voice. And also what I found, when you start complaining as a caregiver, you become a troublemaker. If I call, I said, this lady is mistreating me so bad. Oh my God, come on. You sure you didn't say anything that was kind of this constant kind of like triggers the fact that they always put the blame on the caregiver. It's like the customer is always right, but the customer is not always right. Because once you don't pay attention, what's going to happen? The caregiver is going to start being resentful. They don't care about the patient anymore, and you're going to lose the case. That's how it is, and I've seen it many, many, many times over and over again. So this is why I said somebody had to say something about the agencies, about the caregiver, how they've been treated, and you eventually get sick. I've met girls who are literally become so sick they can't talk. They're afraid if they voice their opinion to the family gonna say goodbye, we meet somebody else, or the agency not gonna find another case for them, and they take it and they take it. You can really get sick. Imagine you're inside somebody's home. let's say somebody's full-time, living full-time. You can't even go to the bank sometimes because you can't leave the client. Some clients you go do stuff with them. Sometimes the family will bring things to them. So you're totally stuck. You can't even do your own errands. Thank God for online banking because otherwise, it's so sad, so sad. So that's what I said. That's one thing I'm looking for in the internet. If I ever find an organization that advocates for caregivers, I will be part. I will be a member of it. But I will try. I was thinking about creating one. I've met a few ladies, but we still haven't trying to figure out how we're going to do this because somebody needs to voice it. Because when you have a good caregiver and good CNA, whoever, that person, that's what keep your business going. So this is one of the reasons. Also, the reason I call the title dilemma. It's on your side. That means I'm on your side. Dilemma of in-home caregivers. People think, oh, okay, because they're not happy the way they've been treated. That's not the true dilemma. To me, the dilemma is when the caregiver has to make a decision whether to stay or to leave the case. That's the hardest thing. Imagine you're a caregiver. You only have one agency that you sign up with. Okay, you do 24 hours, you don't have time to go to another agency to fill out an application. You're stuck. So if you're really miserable where you are, and say, I'm going to either walk out of this job or call the agency. If you call the agency, they're not going to be happy with you because now the client is used to you after all these weeks and months. Now they have to start all over again. They're not going to be happy with you. And if you stay, you're going to either walk out or you're going to get sick. So what do you have to do? So this is, to me, that's a big dilemma because even at night you can sleep. Say, I'm stuck here. I don't know what to do. I can't get out to get another job. And if I walk out, my bill's not going to get paid. So to me, that's a true dilemma. And I have talked to some of the girls, and that's why I decided that was the true dilemma. It's not really what they go through, but the fact that they have to decide to leave the case. That was a true dilemma. So the last point is, how can this book? When Cheryl asked me to do this, so I figured why I'm talking about this to the group. So as CEOs, I think you should address those issues too, like orientation, in service. People, please do your in service because many agencies that I work for, especially when you do do those living, they don't have time to get out to go take part of those in service. So they're not trained. Things have changed. They don't know what's going on. They keep doing the same thing over again, and sometimes it's not the right attitude because they don't get trained because the agency feel like then we have to find a replacement for them to come. So they let it go. They let it go, and that's why things get worse and worse and worse and worse. So I think that as CEOs, we have to start paying attention and don't resent your caregivers when they call you and say, "There's a problem." Listen to them because you won't lose that case because believe me, they're gonna start mistreating that. I'm not talking about physical, but the way the attitude, the client will call them, they don't answer. Say, why am I even bother? The agency doesn't even care. So why do I have to? Every time she calls me, I have to go. So the little things, they start piling up because I've seen it. It pile ups, and then next thing you know, the client said, I don't need the service no more. We're switching. So this is why it's so important. It's so important, guys. As CEOs, pay attention to your caregivers. When you have good caregivers, because many times I find out agencies don't like caregivers who voice their complaint and their concern because they feel like, okay, we're giving them too much power, or they feel like, oh, we're losing power with this employee. No, because when you talk, you know what's going on. It's when you don't know what's going on, it becomes dangerous. So you have to know what's going on. Let them talk. Let them talk to you. And then do something about it. Come and visit before you assign a caregiver. Go see where they're going to sleep. Go see if they're able to, if they're allowed to. If they don't want them to share the refrigerator, you can ask the client, can we have another one put in the garage or something? Make them comfortable because they will stay. They're not comfortable, they're not going to stay. They're not going to stay. So this is why people, take that for granted. We get so caught up with paperwork, with regulations. We want our agencies to look nice and all. But at the end of the day, the CNAs, the HHA, they're our business. If they're not there, there's no business. We can't duplicate ourselves to do the work. So it's important, guys. Believe me, I've been to it. On the other side, I know it I could just do stuff with my eyes closed because I know I've been doing this for so many years. And I've seen agencies who don't care and they close down. I've seen them close down because they don't care about the good caregivers who leave. They will leave. And if you have a caregiver, after 6 months, they're still on the case, something needs to be said. You need to try. That means something is working. For someone, especially the elderly, if they can stick out with the caregiver for 6 months, that means there's a trust that was built there. So you want to watch out that caregiver. You want to make sure everything is okay so they will stay. So this is my message to you today. And thank you so much, guys, for giving me the opportunity. I didn't want to keep it long. This is my first live. I was scared to death that I was going to mess up. If you have any question, you can type in. I'm able to see. Teresa? Okay. Wei Wei. Thank you, Wei Wei. And also, guys, you know what I encourage you, CEO? You should write your own book too. Because, my book, I have to say, but my book is on Amazon, is on Kindle version and then paperback. Write your own book. And then, in the back, I have the logo of my business. This Amazon is in France, is in Europe, Germany. I think it's in China. So this is another way to advertise your book. Even if I didn't have it translated, but people can read English, you'll see it. So on Amazon. So that's another way to advertise I talk about it. I put the website address on in there. And also in the back, there's the logo of my business. So write your own book too. Even as a CEO, I did it as a caregiver because that's what I know mostly. But when you become experienced as a caregiver, you can write your own book too and give advice to other CEOs. I encourage it. It's not that hard. Believe me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody, let me see if I have any questions, Teresa? Lorna? Hello? Let's see if I can see. Let's see if I can see it. I have this setup. It's a crazy setup here. Let me see. Okay. You did great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Juana. Thank you. So I thought, lives are overrated. I thought you have to be this special person to be able to do a live. It's not that bad. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I know Cheryl might be busy. She was not able, but thank you so much, Cheryl, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. I appreciate it. So check my book out, even if you can buy it, just refer somebody to it. It's on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. It's called On Your Side, Dilemma of In-Home Caregivers. Thank you, guys. So if we ever have the organization for the caregivers, for HHA, I will pass it on to the group. I know some people are working on that. They need an advocate. So even as CEOs, we have to know also what the HHAs are doing. Okay? Thank you, guys. Bye. Okay.